Happy Monday, guys. It is Monday, April 6th, and this is Holy Week. We just passed Palm Sunday yesterday, and I hope you had a good day of celebration wherever you were celebrating with your church. And as we go into this Holy Week, I just want to help us focus our eyes on Jesus. I have some thoughts today. I'm going to be reading from Psalms 56 and then a little devotional from the She Reads Truth Bible. This is this is written by David. It says, when the Philistines seized him in Gath. So he was under attack. Be gracious to me, God, for a man is trampling me. He fights and oppresses me all day long. My adversaries trample me all day, for many arrogantly fight against me. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, whose word I praise. In God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? They twist my words all day long. All their thoughts against me are evil. They stir up strife, they lurk. They watch my steps while they wait to take my life. Will they escape in spite of such sin? God, bring down the nations in wrath. You yourself have recorded my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Then my enemies will retreat on the day when I call. This I know, God is for me. In God whose word I praise, in the Lord whose word I praise, in God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can mere humans do to me? I am obligated by vows to you, God. I will make my thank offerings to you. For you rescued me from death, even my feet from stumbling, to walk before God in the light of life. One thing about David is that he does not hold back when he is telling God about how he feels. But I don't know if you can tell in the Bible, it's almost every other paragraph. He's calling out, he's afraid, and then he immediately starts to praise. So he says, I am afraid, but he says, this I know, God is for me. So he lets himself feel, but then he reminds himself of what he knows, and he gets the focus back on God. So that is just an example for us. If there was ever a picture of intimate prayer, it is found in the gut-wrenching Psalms of David. In Psalm 56, we find David seized by the Philistines in danger for his life. His prayer alternates between cries for help and affirmation of his ultimate trust in God. But then he asks, will they escape in spite of such sin? The breathless desperation is almost audible. I hear honesty and familiarity in David's words, not formality or formula. In Jesus' prayer in Gethsemane, we hear an even deeper intimacy with the Father, a balance of the heart's deepest longing with surrender to the complete sovereignty of God. My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. Jesus' cry is the ultimate collision of remarkable boldness and astounding trust. Trust in the God who holds it all in his loving, omnipotent hands. He is the one in whose name we pray, whose perfect sacrifice grants us access to the very throne of God. Then comes the parable of the persistent widow in Luke 18, and again our minds go reeling. Will not God grant justice to his elect who cry out to him day and night? Will he delay helping them? It's tempting to think that this is how prayer works, that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. We wonder if God's answers to prayer are subject to his emotional whim, but we know better. We know Christ speaks of us as beloved children and tells us our Father delights in giving us all we need. We know the God who hears our prayers is the same God who cares for the birds of the air. Aren't you worth more than they? So when we read of the widow who asks relentlessly and unapologetically for mercy, we long to do the same. When we dare to imagine asking for what we need, like children do, we begin to understand this. Bold asking is our privilege as his daughters and sons. The pleas of an honest heart, following hard after God, are music to his ears. May we bring a chorus of trust and adoration and boldness to his throne today. So I hope you will join me in praying bold, big prayers this week. We've been told that things don't look really great in the country right now, but we know our God. So join me in praying bold prayers as we approach Holy Week and Easter. We have a God who is more powerful than this little virus, and he can stop it. He may not, but we can ask, and we can tell him how we're feeling, and he understands, and he wants us to come to him with our emotions But then we need to remind ourselves, I will trust in God, because we know He is a faithful God. He hears our prayers. He answers them in His own timing and in His own wisdom. But we can trust that He is doing all things for our good. Happy Monday, and I look forward to talking with you, seeing you, talking on the phone, and praying for you guys. Thanks.